What is up, guys? RandysCommentarys here, and welcome back to another gaming review by me. And this time we're reviewing Beyond Two Souls, as you can tell from the gameplay in the background. Basically, I played Beyond Two Souls, right? I was waiting for the game to arrive, although I didn't get it on release date. I was waiting for it to arrive, but I don't know what it was. But as I played it, I was a little bit bored. I wasn't entertained as much. I was much more bored. Now, the game comes from Quantic Dream and David Cage, who made Heavy Rain. And I enjoyed Heavy Rain. Heavy Rain was a really great game. It's, dropped, 3 years ago. It stirred up drama and, what could make a game and what shouldn't make a game and, things like that. And I'm here with Beyond Two Souls, but it fell flat to what I thought it would have became. So if you play Beyond Two Souls, you know exactly what Heavy Rain is like. So if you played Heavy Rain, you know what Beyond Two Souls is like. If you play Beyond Two Souls, then you know what Heavy Rain is like. Basically, they're the same game. It's nothing but walking through environments, nailing button pressing and indicators. You screw up a button sequence, you fail, or you'll be forced to repeat it, or go down a different path of the cutscene, so your cutscene and your story will change. Well, it's like for you to choose your own adventure movie where the scenes play in an order according to how good or bad you are at responding to on-screen prompts. And that's what makes Beyond Two Souls a little more than an interactive game, and more than interact cutscenes, and more of a game than Heavy Rain was. While Heavy Rain was more just cutscenes, and this game is more of gameplay. Even in moments when you're placed in a space where you can walk around and explore, you do a little more than cover all of the open floor while pressing button indicators while you pass. Which is fine with me if you're okay with a story that tells itself without challenging you as a gamer. So if you're a gamer and you're doing this story, you won't be challenged as if you were a gamer and you played Dark Souls. You wouldn't be challenged by a boss or anything of those natures. You will be challenged with nothing. It'll just be, the game will play out by itself. You will watch the story. You will press buttons. You will see as how far the game can, move on forward. So this game can be enjoyable if you don't mind taking a chill approach to a campaign that is questionably a game at all. Then Beyond Two Souls won't bother you. If you don't bother taking a chill game and approaching the game very chill and easy, then this game will be fun and you'll love it. However, if you'd rather be challenged with multiple buttons, or rolling, or pressing X, Y, B, sprinting by clicking the the left stick, shooting with RB, throwing grenades, all this nonsense, then this game will not be for you. You shouldn't buy it, because you won't get any of that multiple button pressing, worrying about healing yourself or not dying. You won't get none of that in this game. It's not like Dark Souls or a game like Call of Duty or Grand Theft Auto. It's nothing like that. It's very chill, and you just won't like it. It's not challenging you, and you'll just be playing a simple. It's basically a movie. I'll put it in specific terms. It's mostly a movie than a game. Just like Heavy Rain was. Heavy Rain was mostly a movie more than a game. So this game is not for those hardcore gamers that like to press a lot of buttons and get a challenge. It's not for you. Now, if you're hearing that Beyond Two Souls won't challenge you, it's going to turn off, then you can spend your $65.31 and find out the hard way of how much of a challenge the game really is. Also, this game toes the line between boredom and fun. It can be boring and it can be fun. I'll be honest. The game goes from exciting adventure parts to boring, just straight talking dialogue. Don't get me wrong, I have no problem with dialogue. But if the dialogue is very boring and it doesn't build up, there's a problem. And then it goes from adventure, dull, exciting, dull, intense, dull. That's how it does. It goes like that after each part. You get to an exciting part, the next part is going to be dull no matter what you say. Now, either you're in exceptionally tense situations where it feels like your virtual life hinges on how good you are at responding to QTEs, which are quick time events, so how fast you can press a button at a certain situation, or things of those natures. When Beyond Two Soul gets tense, gets very intimate, the game is very decent. It isn't boring. You get really into it at certain parts. There are several moments where myself, I was as clinched and as it sounds on the edge of my seat, pushing back opponents, fighting for my life. For every one of these crazy situations, though comes several absolute desolation. And after you get through that, it gets very boring. You get, wow, I just, did all that. It was so much fun. But then now it just became boring. So, I do hate games myself that are nothing but big event after big event. The volume of these moments, nothing but, let's say, like, what's a good game, for example? What a game such as, that's hard. Maybe, like a Call of Duty campaign. A Call of Duty campaign is nothing but big event after big event after big event after big event. Be honest. You do nothing but big events, war. There's no stopping to talk, normal conversation, but big events back to back to back to back to back. And I myself really hate that. I would like a game that, something big happens, but then there's a dialogue. Not a really boring dialogue, but a dialogue that'll help you understand what's going on before and after the big event. And this game is somewhat along those lines. It helps you develop the skills to be patient with big events and dull events and big events. So, if you're into that, then you should buy it. But instead, this game, Beyond Two Souls, is mostly one of two things. It's boring or it's exciting. It depends on how you see it. Now, I'm not suggesting that the slow moments meant to develop the character as a growing protagonist are bad. I mean, I welcome this kind of situation with my arms, open arms. But it's the way that the development occurred with such little or meaningless interaction at every other turn. Heavy Rain worked during these slow moments because the storyline of murder and kidnapping created intense moments of the whole game at the entire moment of the game. There was not one part of the game that you were actually really, really bored. Now, Beyond Two Souls is more like a vague ghost mystery story. And it's not as tense enough to keep slow moments engaging. So it's nothing like Heavy Rain. It's a little, I would say it's more of a downgrade of Heavy Rain. Not as good, and not as, it's just a downgrade. It's not as good as the first product they ever, had. Now, another thing Heavy Rain had going for it was the graphics. The graphics were amazing. And when the game launched back around 2010, 2011, it was gorgeous. The facial expressions, the environment, and the details on the textures were in a league of their own for console gaming. Now, Beyond Two Souls, it looks good. The facial animations work well. However, more attractive games are available on nearly every platform. The Last of Us dropped a couple months ago, and it looks way better than Beyond Two Souls. So if you're a graphics guy, this game probably won't be for you. It won't look as good as you think Heavy Rain did, or you think The Last of Us did, or you think GTA 5 did on an HD TV. This game won't look as good. Now, the texture get exceptional, like dull and nasty and muddy, which the game is, rather, it makes you not want to look at the game anymore. That's how I felt when I seen it. I myself is not one for graphics, but a lot of people see graphics as a big selling point for them, and a lot of people don't. So if you don't mind the graphics and the lack of as good being graphics as Heavy Rain or anything else, you should play it. You should check it out at least. Don't buy it. You can play I think there's a demo on PS3 for it. Oh yeah, there is. There's a demo on PS3 for it. You can check it out without spending your money. Play the game, find out what it's like, and maybe you'll enjoy it. But graphic powers, Heavy Rain was 10 times better, and Beyond Two Souls was somewhat of a downgrade. So if you buy this game, you won't be stunned by the gorgeous graphics. You will at some points, because some points do look really good, but in reality, it doesn't look as good as you think it would. at the end of the day, I myself give Beyond Two Souls somewhat of around a 6 out of 10. And if you were watching this gameplay in the background, you may have seen that the game looks great. Am I wrong? It looks great. But I feel that it lacks the graphic powers that Heavy Rain had and The Last of Us had. So at the end of the day, graphic-wise, it's not the best. Story-wise, it's in the middle, so it's, it's boring and exciting. If you're looking for a game that's always exciting, it's not the game for you. This game goes from nice big event to dull, to big to dull, to big to dull, to big to dull. So this is, if you're more of an action, non-stop action going on, this is not your game. Now, with a narrative that plods along rather moving in pulsing waves, Beyond Two Souls is simply never compelling. It's not as good enough. It's not good enough to be flat out fantastic as Heavy Rain and The Last of Us. But it is good enough to be flat out decent, and I believe a great piece of work for their second game pushing out after 3 years. So if you did not catch my rating the first time, I gave this game a 6 out of 10. So I hope you guys enjoyed my review. I'm out.